Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Matthew Boyle and this is Legendary Language Learner. I'm on a mission to make language learning truly unforgettable for you. And I think a lot of people are checking out my new shorts videos, so I want to remind you that I've been giving a lot of advice lately on the daily. There in the shorts video section of my YouTube channel, you can check those out. And in today's video, I want to pull out some advice and some lessons from my language learning journey and invite you to jam and jive with me about that in the comments section. Maybe you can share some advice of your own. So the first lesson I want to share is that many of you may be in a situation where you did not get to choose the foreign language which you in fact must study. It could very likely be a requirement in your school. So that happened to me too. I first really had to study a foreign language in high school, and that was, I chose Spanish. And it's tricky when you don't get to choose the foreign language. Obviously that's going to take away some of your motivation because you have no choice. But looking back with the experience and the knowledge I have now, I think I would tell my past self to keep an open mind and don't just write off even trying to study that foreign language by saying, oh, well, I had no choice in the matter. I don't care about this class. I just want to learn English, or I want to learn that language, but I can't. I don't really care about this language, because when you start to think like that, you're setting up self-limiting beliefs that are going to hurt your performance and your learning in that class even more. And not only that class, not only that particular foreign language, but you will be sort of setting up a closed-minded mentality towards learning. My belief now is that there's really no easy and no hard in life. There's really no easy and no hard with any subject or any skill that you want to learn. What it really comes down to is, do you have an ability to keep an open mind and keep curiosity alive or not? We all can make that choice, no matter if we were able to choose that foreign language or not, or that class or not. So keep an open mind and seek the help that you need as well. A lot of young people, students I've worked with, clients that I've worked with, they don't know how to ask for help, or they don't want to ask for help. But if you let the teacher know you need some extra help and you're willing to stick around to get it, you might be surprised how far you can go and how much you can progress. You might surprise yourself and find out that you can handle that language just as easily as any of your classmates. Okay, secondly, when I escaped the Spanish class, quote unquote escaped, I decided to go into American Sign Language. I hoped that would be easier. What I found out was I actually really enjoyed it. And that was because the class size was smaller and the teacher was deaf, and they exposed me to deaf culture, and it was fascinating to me. So this leads me to share the advice that maybe you ought to take the road less traveled if you can. If you have a choice in terms of which foreign language you learn, and there are some classes offered which, well, the foreign language seems a little bit out there. Maybe few students are taking it. Maybe you don't know too much about it. Maybe that class is even subject to a bit of ridicule by the students in your school. Maybe they judge it as not being as worthy to be studied as other language. I don't know. But if you take that class, you might have a unique experience that stimulates your curiosity and your interest. So be willing to take the road less traveled too, and get in a smaller class if you can. Get in one of maybe they're adding a new language to the roster and not many students are taking it yet. Try it. You might have a really great experience. So then when I went on to university, I also took a year of Arabic. I took, I think, a year or two of Mandarin. Don't remember exactly how long I took in those languages. But once I got into university and I studied Chinese philosophy, I studied Asian philosophy and religions and history. And I got really interested in those things. And that's what led me to be interested to study Mandarin. So another piece of advice I would give you, if you're wondering what language you should try, or if you don't feel interested to learn languages, maybe consider a sort of a side door that could grant you entry into the language learning mysteries. Maybe you like the history of that country. Maybe you like the culture and the customs. Maybe you like the music or the art. Find something like that to latch onto at first, learn as much as you can, and learn some key vocabulary in the target language around those things, and let that lead you into wanting to learn that language more. And then maybe you can join a class later. And the last advice I will give you is, of course, if possible, travel to visit that country or mix with people from that country. Because as many of you know, if you've been following this channel, I live in China. I've moved to China in 2011 and I've lived here ever since. And there's nothing like living in a foreign country to stimulate your curiosity and grow your language abilities. I mean, at that point you are in the environment, you are immersed in that language. If you don't hate the language and hate that culture, then you're gonna be picking it up almost without trying. So, if you have a chance to travel abroad or even hang out with those types of people, maybe there's sort of a community of people from that country who live near you and you can hang out with them, that can really open your eyes and get you excited, because you're going to start to see you can really apply your skills in the real world and use them in the real world. It's not just for the classroom. It's not just something to be learned with books in your bedroom. There's no substitute for that. Okay, so those would be some of my tips, some of my advice based on my language learning journey. I think the most important thing, if you take away nothing else, I think you have to examine your own mind, your own thought processes, examine your own self-talk. One of the most common things I see, especially with monolingual people who want to start learning a foreign language for the first time, is they believe that they can't do it. They believe they're not the same as all the other people who have learned foreign languages around them, and it's just not true. If you're a human, you are built to learn language. Language learning is for you. Okay, so maybe the most important thing of all that you'll have to do at the start is to undo your limiting self-beliefs. And that's something I really want to help you to do as well. If you need a coach or an accountability partner, someone to study languages with you, I can do that. I do that with clients and friends online using my language learning games. So that can be a really fun way to get into it. But I hope all these ideas help. Thank you so much again for tuning in today, and I hope to see you back here next time at Legendary Language Learner. Bye-bye for now.